parked there for the
You want to do the
first
pledge?
time today.
While you stand up?
Sure.
Okay. Hang on. Good evening, Danvers. Welcome to the April 9th, 2026 Select Board meeting. Mike, would you care to do the Pledge of Allegiance
I'd
for
love
us?
to,
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, we got a busy night, and hopefully we'll get through all of this fairly quickly. I want to thank everybody for coming. Thanks to the staff. Thank you to the residents, too. Thank you to all our board members. The board will continue review of the warrant for the May 18th, 2026 annual town meeting. Ms. Town Manager.
Thank you. All right. Get the presentation up here. Thank you, Madam Chair, and through you to the members. Good evening, and thank you to everyone who was here earlier for the mural presentation. If you haven't seen it, it's incredible work. And thank you to the Rotary for leading the way on that restoration. And our DPW did an incredible job working with them to get it hung. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. There's a great informational sign included on right at the bottom of the stairs now, too. So just to bring people up to date, for those that weren't tuned in on Tuesday we went through a number of articles primarily related to the budget, land use, and a few of our typical annual warrant articles. We also took on a few that were originally on the list for tonight. So we did already, the select board already dealt with Special Town Meeting Article Number 1, Unpaid Bills, Special Town Meeting Article Number 3, State Public Works Grant, Special Article Number 10, School Transportation Vehicles, Special Article Number 20, Drainage Liability, and Special Article Number 45, Fiscal Year 2027 Budget Amendments. So that brings us tonight.
Didn't we also do 15? Thought we,
We did not.
No.
okay. All right.
We did not. So that brings us tonight to start with Special Town Meeting Article Number 2. There we are. Okay. And again, just for reminders for people who are following either at home or in the room, the warrant book page number is at the bottom of the slide. So Special Town Meeting Article Number 2, Budget Transfers for Fiscal Year 2026. As you know, annually at the end of the year, we have to move some money around to cover some unexpected expenses. I will walk through these, and if there's specific questions, I will probably hand it off to staff. So the first one is $1 million from free cash to education to Danvers Public Schools. This is related to expenses related to special education. I also want to note that the school committee will be taking up, or has taken up, will be taking up an authorization from the special ed stabilization, and that will also be a transfer out of stabilization into the special ed accounts from the schools. That vote initiates with the school committee and will come to the select board, and that's anticipated on May 7th. The second two, $700,000 from free cash and $250,000 from DPW personnel, both going to DPW operating. That is for the topic we've talked about quite a bit this year. That's for the snow and ice. The next one is $340,000 from free cash to fire personnel. Also, I think something that we talked about during budget. This is to cover overtime. $90,000 from police personnel to police capital outlay. This is to cover some new body armor, the vests that they wear. $20,000 from department heads personnel and $20,000 from department head personnel to HR personnel. This is because of some of the vacancies in HR. We have had an HR assistant, a temporary HR assistant, to keep the workflow moving. Another thing that we talked about during budget. $15,000 from accounting personnel and $15,000 from debt interest. These are both going to accounting operating. Accounting also down personnel, down a couple bodies. And so we had brought on a consultant to meet some of the deadlines related to our filings with the state and so on. And $50,000 in sewer retained earnings to sewer operating, and this is related to emergency repairs at the Endicott Street Pump Station pumps. If there's any questions, Madam Chair, or from you or the board members, the
John?
team's here to answer them.
Gardner, do you have questions?
No questions.
Mike?
No questions.
Dee?
No questions.
Dan?
No questions, no surprises.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I move, we forward this favorably.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We're moving now into the annual town meeting warrant articles, and we are on Article 8, which is the technology plan. This is detailed. The expenses are detailed in the warrant draft, but we do also have our IT director here if there are follow-up questions, and the total amount is $519,500 from free cash. It includes $85,000 for school requests, $15,000 for the library's IT, $252,500 for general government, and additional $167,000 is related to the regional services that we provide.
Any questions, Dan?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Under general government request, it includes camera systems. Where are those going?
Colby Cousins, IT Department.
Hi, Colby.
Through you, Madam Chair. Those cameras are going to refresh our regular refresh of cameras. So cameras age out around 5 years or so, and we have about 300 of them across the town. So we're rolling all the time, refreshing new cameras.
So the replacements are refreshing, not new.
Correct, yeah.
Thank you.
I was thinking about that.
All set.
Okay.
Madam
Dee?
Chair. I can't see.
No questions, thank you.
Mike?
All set.
Yeah, no, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Gardner?
No, I'm all set with this.
All right, terrific. Do I have a motion?
I move we forward this favorably.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Coming in hot. Okay, this is perfect timing. I'm going to hand it over to our new DPW director. Whoop.
One more, we got
Oh,
door access security.
oh, sorry. That's what happens when I get up in the middle. Article number 9, door access security. This is $100,000 from free cash to upgrade the door access security at Danvers Public Schools.
Questions, Mike?
Yeah, just so quick, what's it actually going to be? Is it a card, what are we getting for that?
Yeah, it's the panels for the doors, so the card readers that open the doors and lock the doors, and they come back to a panel in the wall. Those need to be upgraded and replaced.
Okay, thank you.
Gardner?
No other questions.
Dee?
No questions, thank you.
Dan?
Thank you, yes. Colby, the contracted project management services, are those yearly contracts or there's a long-term contract?
Those are yearly contracts.
Okay, so we'll see it next year as well.
Yeah, well, they're one-time contracts, I would say. Replacements right now. We don't have a, standing maintenance contract. We make annual investments
As needed.
as needed, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I move we forward this favorably.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I'm going to realize that I did the same thing we had a trainer in today, and I did the same thing she did. I started without introducing our incredible staff who are in the room today. So if I may, Madam Chair, take a moment.
Sure.
To my right, Rodney Connolly, Administration and Finance Director. To my left, Steve King, our new Department of Public Works Director. Next to him is Angelica Medina, who is our Business Manager, DPW Business Office Manager. We've got Dave Mountain, our Recreation Director. We've got Jamie Schaffner, who is our Deputy Fire Chief. I'm going to let Dan do his whole school team so I don't get them wrong, although I think I have them all right. But we also have our Superintendent, Dan Bauer, our School Committee Chair, Mike Shannon, and our Police Chief, Jamie Lovell. And and a few of our wonderful residents. And if Dan, if you want to introduce your team.
Sure, with James Sullivan, our Director of Technology and Operations, Christina Ryan, she's our Director of Student Services, and the best ever Pam Crum. our business
She is the best. Yeah, I got to agree.
So with that, I will turn over for the next few warrant articles to our DPW Director, Steve King. Down is forward.
Down is forward. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Madam Chair. Steve King, DPW Director. I'm going to go through a few of the articles related to our general supported, tax supported, and then go into our water and sewer enterprise articles as well. The first one we have up is Article 15, pavement management and sidewalk improvements, appropriation request of $317,000. This program helps and aids our Chapter 90 program, so these are typically projects that are not reimbursable by the Chapter 90 program provided by Mass DOT in the state and the Commonwealth. So we have a few projects that are lined up that are written out in the description. Just go over them briefly. We have some parking lot restoration in some of our schools, elementary schools. We also use this for funding for doing our next evaluation of all our roadways. So every 3 to 5 years, we drive all of our streets and get a road grade, the pavement management grade, PCI, condition index, and then that's how we evaluate how we're going to build the next 3 years of our paving program. So that's part of that cost included in here. Also listed out in our self-evaluation transition plan. That's a plan that helps us aids us in our ADA compliance on public roadways. So we have a specific amount set aside for increasing our ADA access with wheelchair ramps throughout the town and on public right-of-ways. And lastly, it involves other small pavement management items such as crack sealing. That's basically road preservation work that the Public Works does as well. And that's Article 15.
Excellent. Board, Dean, do you have any questions?
No, no questions.
Dan?
All set.
Mike?
Just one, how many streets are you trying to get done per year?
It's more on the miles, so we try to do 5 or 6 miles per year. The streets can change depending on how big they are.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Gardner?
Just a quick question. You say you go through and you create an index of, I guess, prioritized streets, you would call it. Is that available to anybody through the website?
We are working on a public-facing dashboard
Okay.
that should be out probably by the end of the summer, where people can go in and actually see the road grade and what work we've done on that in the past or in the future.
Great. I guess it's because it's a fast approaching pothole season, and you see things on social media. Is there a way in that dashboard to consider identifying the roads in Danvers that are actually publicly owned or maintained by the Danvers DPW versus private roads? Often a lot of times you hear about the Liberty True Mall area, and we know that that's that particular loop is theirs. Or if it's a state highway, or those properties that are maintained by the state as opposed to Danvers, might be helpful to identify and note those.
Absolutely, and we do have something similar to that. It doesn't have the pavement road condition embedded in it, but we do have a private public right-of-way segment in our GIS layer that is accessible to the public. So whenever a contractor is proposing to work on a street, they can access the site and see, has the town just paved it in the last 5 years? Is it public or is it private? And then we also attach the title deed and street layout plans that are associated with that street. So that is accessible to the public now.
Okay. And maybe on your dashboard, a link to that for the public to be able to find it easily.
Yep.
Then I'm going to even further stretch is I recently found out we've automated some of our permits and processes, and maybe reporting potholes would be one of those, could be one of those, reporting to the town. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do I have a motion?
I move we forward this favorably.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Almost a great segue into the next Article 16, the Road and Acceptance of Public Ways Program. This is a program that we've historically done since 2020, where we've looked at roads that we've almost kind of considered or providing public services on roadways. They were kind of pre-indoctrined prior to the subdivision control law, but we essentially have been maintaining our services on those streets. So we initiated a program in 2020 to start chipping away at turning those streets from private ways into public ways. As of recently, with some of the streets, we're getting into a little bit more of an issue with trying to make sure we find the boundary markers in survey lines. So we've actually included some survey work as far as doing the layout. So typically we could just do a layout based on the deed, but we're also doing some survey work to make sure that there's no private entities actually encroaching onto the public, on what could potentially be the public right of way. So we've added that additional cost into this program as well. And I'm sure everyone is wanting to know how many streets we still have.
For everyone, we need Bill.
To kind of jump ahead, we have about 70 streets that are still considered private ways. 8 of those are recent subdivisions, so actually we're gonna have 2 of those come off in the annual town meeting in 2027, so we're working on getting those done. We have 10 that will always remain private, so that's what, as you talked about the mall roads, some of those roadways have been deeded as always gonna be private ways. And then we have about 36 or so streets that we have on a list that we're gonna do 2 or 3 of those over the next year to turn them into public right-of-ways.
Excellent. Gardner, questions?
When we do the survey, or when we do the survey, by me, as your term is, and identify streets, and you said there's 10 we're not going to ever do. When you look at them, do you determine that maybe there's not an appropriate return on investment? For example, if there's a culvert on a street, a subdivision street that we just know if something were to go wrong with that culvert in 10 years, it's a multi-million-dollar project. Are there some we're not going to take on in consideration of future costs?
Specifically, I don't have those streets that situation would occur on, but I would say for the most part, the town itself, as we said, considered accepted, we've been providing some type of services because they are streets that people ride on or travel throughout the course of a day. So I think there is some inherent part of us to be able to maintain that stormwater infrastructure. So we have to look at those on a case-by-case basis, and those are discussions we have internally to determine if we do take this on, are we able to potentially do that capital project in the future and how we pay for it.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Mike?
It's always me, isn't it?
Sorry.
It feels like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, has a lot of the streets not been adopted by the town, we'll say, because somebody just didn't do it 30 years ago, or because it's some of the
40
streets that you name off, it's like, I always thought that was a street in town.
Yeah, so subdivision control law came into effect in Danvers in 1979, so anything prior to 1979, that's the case we're running into. Those are typically the streets we're looking at.
And the benefit of us doing this is what?
The benefit would be we add the road mileage, although maybe a little, maybe a lot, into our Chapter 90 fund, so that gives us more money to actually improve the streets as well in the future.
Okay, good, thank you.
Dee?
No questions, thank you.
Dan?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to the DPW Director. Stephen, it says in the narrative that the cost is approximately $11,000, and you're only looking for 33, so I assume you're going to only do 3 streets this year. In the past, you've typically done 5 a year at a cost that's 1/4 of what it's costing now. I can't imagine the survey adds that much money to it.
We recently just put out a bid, we got prices back, and we looked at the previous year's bid, and the prices have gone up. Based on the results we're getting back from the surveyors that are providing the quotes, and the time and effort looking into the deeds on some of the streets. So we're getting into the tougher.
So am I correct that usually it was like $2,500 a street?
2,500 street to do just the layout.
Just the layout.
We've added in the as-built part of it. That's also an increased cost in time and effort for the surveyors to go out there and do that work.
Okay, I guess I should have been a surveyor. Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I move we forward this favorably.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Next is Article 17, building improvements. We have a variety, we have proposed $137,000 to be appropriated for elementary, middle, and high school improvements, $20,000 to Endicott Park, $150,000 to PV Institute Library, and $345,000 to other building improvements for a total of $627,000, and $25,000 for WUMP for the other part of it. And happy to go through any of the specifics that are listed out on the warrant if you'd like me to.
Gardner, question?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Dan?
I do, thank you. Library Pavilion, didn't we recently do some structural work there
We did some structural work to the foundation.
for the, yeah,
Now we're running up from the floor joist up to the roof.
okay, thank you.
Dee?
No questions, thank you.
Mike?
Just one, is the engine two, that station there, is there something on the board for that to get like a major redo at some point?
The station itself,
Yeah.
we've had discussions and we are still building out through like a kind of a capital asset plan to determine what buildings will need improvements in the future. But we are looking at that in the future.
Would that get bigger? Would the building get bigger?
That's something that I have to talk to the deputy chief about, what they need for
Really?
size and equipment.
Okay, thank
We
you.
don't have much money. We don't have much money this year, remember?
Oh, I know it's coming.
It's
right?
coming, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Do I have a motion?
Move we forward this favorably?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Oh, Bill, sure, you can go up. If anybody wants to go up, Madam Clerk has her timer.
2 minutes or 3 minutes?
We'll do 3 minutes. We'll be generous tonight.
Bill Bradstreet, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. My question is about the senior center. Is there money set aside? I know they're minor things. There's a fence up there, perhaps some of the equipment inside. Is this covered by that, or is there another article to cover that? When I pull into the parking lot, they finally fixed the lights. But where I park, I see a chain link fence that's laying on its side that abuts the brook coming through there, and there's a traffic cone in there. I don't know if that traffic cone is to protect the stream or what it is, but I noticed recently when I visited, some of the furnishings could use some replacement or some help so they look a little more. It's a fine building. It's used. We need to give like other areas in town, make a good impression on anyone who goes in there. I'm sure if you ask somebody, they might tell you, we could use this or we could use that to address. But I'd like to think that there'd be at least a few dollars to help them spruce things up.
I think we can have a conversation with the senior center and the director there and see what they need.
Or I can go along and, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Article 18, appropriation request for $166,000 for grounds improvements. We have, we're requesting $50,000 for Rotary softball field improvements. Another $50,000 for Riverside softball field and basketball hoops improvements. $41,000 for town recreation, sport field aeration and fertilization. $15,000 for natural resource area fence and gate replacements, and $10,000 for road maintenance and surfacing.
Questions, Dan?
Please, thank you. Rail trail, we're expanding from 4.3 to 7.2. I didn't see a map in the back. It would have been helpful to see a map of where we're expanding to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big expansion.
And if I may,
I think I'm in
I
favor
think,
of it.
yeah, part of that is the one covered by the state, I believe.
Correct.
Correct? I'm looking at both of you. Yeah.
Nothing being built now.
So
I was going to say, you guys are the,
I can talk to that.
Okay.
So this is what we call our westward expansion that we previously had a few articles for, that we just recently did the rail trail bridge. like 3-4 years ago, so we're connecting that piece out. That's gonna be the extra 3 to 4 miles.
So that's part of the expansion, that you did that 3 years ago.
Yeah. And then now the state is also, we're collaborating with the state, and they've determined that they're gonna help provide the funding and construction to do their piece of the rail trail that goes through their right-of-way under Route 1 and Route 95.
Will we need to make a connection?
We've already made a connection back from the Middleton town line to where they're gonna end. And we're gonna start working towards with our crossing at Maple and Route 62 at Vineyard, start making our way towards their starting point at Forest and Nichols. So I think we'll actually be done before they're fully complete with theirs. Their build-out and project bid is not till about 2028.
All right, so most of the expansion is westward.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
B?
Still like to see a map.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quick question. If we wanted to work on the Vi gym at the high school, would that fall under something like this?
Yeah, the Vi gym would go into the buildings improvements articles.
Will it be here with athletic facilities, or it's just outdoor?
It's just outdoor for ground, so the previous article,
Before.
Article
17.
Oh, okay.
17. for
17.
building improvements, 17 for
So
building improvements, that's where
that's
we would
why-
have gym improvements.
Okay.
We gotta get them.
And how do we get that started if we ever wanted to do it? Who brings it up? Is it staff? Is it the school? Is it?
It's a combination of everyone involving the school, our building superintendent, myself, having sit-downs in the fall when we start building our capital plan. What are the needs of the schools and the town buildings? Obviously, we have general cycles of when we do refurbishing of floors and gym equipment. So that gets built into our overall plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Mike?
Kind of a statement. I'm going to promote my Adopt a Park program again. I think this would be a good time, hit up Costco, some of these new car dealerships. Maybe they get a little plaque, and they could buy some grass seed and pay for the lawnmowers and stuff. Just wanted to get it out there again. Thank you.
Excellent. Dinah?
No questions?
And we do have Dave Mountain here for any questions, if anybody has anything. All right. Do I have a motion?
Motion to move this forward favorably.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Moving on to sewer enterprise warrant articles. 21 through 25. 21, the Endicott Street generator replacement request for $400,000. That is to replace the existing on-site emergency backup generator. If you can remember, just last year or the year before, we presented an article to replace the Summer Street generator. The Summer Street generator is our biggest one in the town, takes the most flow. Endicott Street, this is the one by Water Street, is our second biggest pump station. So we're required, mandated to have emergency backup power in case there's a power outage, so continue to operate. It's the same vintage, 35 plus years old. It's getting into its useful life, so we're starting to do the design work, and this would be appropriating construction dollars for us to do the replacement in FY '27. Probably going to FY '28 with the lead times for generators right now. I can stop at each one, or I can go through however you want to do it. You want to do each article, or?
To be article.
We can, yeah, we'll just questions.
Each article.
Yeah, each one. Gardner, do you have a question?
I do. And I can appreciate that these are at the end of the usable life. I'm sure it's clocked by hours like major equipment is, but we heard a really compelling report from the chief, from the fire chief, regarding emergencies. And he noted, and some of the notations were about some of the emergency power opportunities elsewhere in town. Would replacing, say, this one be, if it doesn't have one already, would it be appropriate to go to, say, the senior center, where it's not necessary for an emergency purpose, but would be a good to have? Or what happens with the equipment that you're going to dispose of or that you're replacing? Does it have any usable life left for non-emergency purposes?
Oh, it has to be specifically sized to the facility you're going to, so that's
Okay.
the first big hurdle you need to cross. And then also, this is related to sewer, so sewer enterprise funds versus tax supported funds, so you couldn't It's not really we're taking money away for a generator at the
Okay.
senior center. It's really all related to sewer. So that would come out of a different funding source.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mike?
No, no questions.
Dee?
No questions.
Dan?
Are we doing each one individually?
Yes.
Okay, no, keep my question, I'm fine for this.
Okay, do I have a motion?
We move this forward favorably?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Article 22, wastewater collection, maintenance and spot repairs. We're requesting $200,000 to continue our design phase of the next, what we call cured in place pipeliner replacement project. Currently, we're going to be going out to bid this spring with projects we previously appropriated at last town meeting. Typically, you've probably seen this as close to $900,000 to $1 million. We're gonna, based on the scheduling of our projects, we're gonna complete and bid this project over the next year, do our design, and then circle back at the next town meeting, once we have a finalized cost or opinion of probable cost, and request the construction dollars for that funding at that point.
Thank you. Questions, Dee?
No questions, no.
Dan?
I'll just comment, I'm glad that we're taking care of these issues with the sewer, et cetera. The Artemis could use some help.
The Artemis,
Yeah, they had problem with the toilets. I don't want to have that problem.
No.
I'm all set, Madam Chairman.
Dan? Mike?
I'm curious, when you reline the sewer lines, how much life do you get out of that?
you typically get 75 plus years out of the liner products.
7 years?
75.
75 when you line the pipes? Wow, okay.
Mike, you're good for your life.
That's really good. I thought you were going to say 7 years, 5 years, okay. Okay. Yeah, that was what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Gardner?
No questions?
Okay, do I have a motion?
Moving forward this with a favorable recommendation.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Article 23, wastewater pump station improvements, request for $200,000. So we own, maintain, and operate 13 pump stations, Endicott Street being one of them. This article is allowing us and allowing our sewer division to be able to make improvements to some of the components that operate the actual motors, engines, and pumps within our pump station. We have both submersible and dry pit. They're in the corrosive environments, so they do not have a long lifespan based on those environments. So it gives us an opportunity to, if we need to purchase a new pump, we have the ability to buy a new pump if it should fail. We just did the transfer, we had a pump fail. It's an expensive cost to rewire, we ground a new pump. So this allows us to have money set aside in order to do those improvements if necessary when they come up.
Excellent. Dan?
All set.
Dave?
No questions.
Mike?
Just one. Steve, do we fix these generators and pumps ourselves, or do we have to subcontract that?
We can do both. We can troubleshoot and do small repairs, but then if something needs to get taken back out to the manufacturer, we'll have a consultant or vendor come back in and do the actual, take the unit out, repair it, and bring it back and reset it.
Is there some kind of a warranty that we get, a program or anything that we're buying into?
We do have some programming, some of the units that operate the controls for the actual pumps, you usually get like a 1-year warranty out of them, and then some of the technology is fairly advancing, so it's hard to find replacement parts. So sometimes we get 5 to 7 years out of those. PLCs and the variable frequency drives that drives the motors and pumps. So again, it's usually a 1 to 2 year warranty period, and after that, it's on us to maintain and operate.
Okay, thank you.
Gardner?
I'm all set, thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I move we forward this favorably.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you.
Article number 24, stormwater asset management. If you might have remembered, we received over $150,000 grant from Mass DEP to do a stormwater asset management program, and what that entails is doing a full comprehensive look at our at our stormwater conveyance system, any of our structures, our culverts, and water quality. Over the past year, we've been out, I would say, once or twice a month testing water quality. We did camera inspection of a good amount of our problem areas for potential road flooding in the area due to the disintegration of some of the stormwater collection piping. And then overall, just do an assessment of what we need to build out for culverts in the future. This essentially is gonna build out to a capital plan, which will be presented to the select board sometime October, November timeframe of this year. Once we get to that point, we're gonna have a set of capital projects and some funds that we're gonna need to be able to determine what sources we're gonna use to be able to fund those projects. So this next step in the phase would allow us to take it to the next level, to be creative about ways we can source different funds or grants to be able to fund the capital program projects for the stormwater.
Excellent. Dan?
No questions.
Dee?
More questions?
Mike?
Just one.
Yeah.
Is the inspection of all these pipes and whatnot, is that in-house, or do we have to sub that out?
We had to sub that out. So as part of the grant program, we were required to have a consultant assist us with that, so that consultant has been helping us with doing that inspection work.
Okay, thank you.
Gardner?
No questions.
Do I have a motion?
Moving forward this favorably.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Article 25, drainage maintenance, request for $50,000 appropriation. So when we do the camera work, and we do the investigation work, and we say, uh-oh, we found something that's been disintegrated or failed, we need to be able to make repairs immediately. So typically, we do this $50,000 appropriation every year in case of circumstances of a failed over pipe or a failed catch basin or something in catch basin or any stormwater collective initiative that we use these funds for to do those repair works in-house.
Questions, Dee?
No questions.
Dan?
All set?
Mike?
Nope, oh, thank you.
Gardner?
Set.
Okay, do I have a motion? Oh, go ahead. Bill? Sure? No? Don't say sorry.
Bill Bradstreet, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. Do we have a list of the streets with the sewer lines in them by age? All I see in the paper is, not for Danvers, but the water pipe bursts or this burst, and you look at the age of when those were put in, maybe the late 1800s, beginning of the 1900s. Do we have an age correlation to these pipes so we can say, well, this has been here 50 years. This might or might not fail. It's more likely to fail than something was put in 10 years ago.
We have a very good record of our water and sewer. The stormwater seems to be the one that is the toughest to track as far as when the piping went in. For most major projects that have happened over the last 40 years, we obviously know those ages and we have as-bills for them, but there's also, with drainage work, there's also a lot of private development that happened that created additional stormwater collection systems that then tied into us, but now we own, so now we can determine when that got put in.
To me, some of the pipes are, a lot of them cast iron, which tends to rust the inside out, where I see newer jobs are done with a heavy-rated PVC piping that doesn't tend to rust like the older pipes. Is that part of what your system is for checking?
So part
Or you-
of our existing stormwater system is made of corrugated metal pipe, or CMP we call it. Thin grade steel pipe, not cast iron. We have now moved to a high density polyethylene pipe, HDPE, which is more durable and lasts longer. There's also reinforced concrete pipe that would be used in shallow depth excavation or shallow depth installations in some roadways as well that have long lifespans.
Just had the question to ask because it's what I read about. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, do I have a motion?
Moving forward this with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Next, moving on to water enterprise warrant articles, we have three, 26, 27, and 28. The first one, water treatment plant rehabilitation, request for $500,000. As you know, we own and produce our own drinking water within the town of Danvers. We have a great staff, a great treatment group over in Middleton. We also have a very intensive plant and operations that we need to maintain so we can meet our water quality standards, drinking water quality standards, as promulgated by Mass DEP. This article is requesting additional funds to help us with doing the constant maintenance updates of all of our pumps that feed our chemicals, some of the controllers that run our pumps in both our treatment plant and our groundwater well filtration systems. So it's at both sites. We continually have done a lot of this work in-house with purchasing and install. So we have a very handy crew that's on site at the plant and both at the wells. So anytime there's an issue with something that needs to get replaced, unless it's one of our large finished water drinking pumps, we can typically handle everything in-house as well. So this is a request for $500,000 to continue those operations.
Great. Mike, question?
No questions, thank you.
Gardner?
All set?
Steve?
No questions.
Dan?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Steve, what did we appropriate last year for work on the treatment plants? We did a lot of work, it seems, replacement of filters, media replacement, abandonment of cross connections between the new and former treatment plants. How much did we spend, and what's the new and what's the former?
So what we did for the sand filter, we replaced the media and cleaned the sand filtered beds. We just finished that in February. That was just around $300,000 to do that. This money would go towards the actual mechanical bridge that cleans each of the separate filters that has the sand in it, the backwash pumps for that. There also is a cross connection that we did some more investigation work on, and we determined that we also have to do a little bit more work on the distribution side in Middleton in order to be able to remove that cross connection that we found. It is still safe, it's still isolated, but just as a secondary, kind of what we call air gap measure, we want to just be able to cut that cross connection out. We can do that this year.
And what would you think you'll have to do next year?
In the following year? It's always something new that comes up in the middle of the year.
I mean, a couple of years ago, we had a problem with the sand filters. We had to change the sand or the filters.
So we've had, we operate both sand filters and granular activated carbon filters. We did a full rebuild of the carbon filters and replaced that granular activated carbon. We do that through our budget. I want to say 2019, 2020 is when we did that. We did have a issue with our sand filters, which we then allotted some money last year to do the ozone pilot. That ozone pilot is part of a chemical process that was added into the treatment plant expansion. So we're finishing that current study. We just finished it in December, and we're working through the final report to determine whether or not we can reintroduce ozone into the plant without having that same occurrence of the fouling of the sand filters again.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Wonderful. Do I have, I forgot, did I? Dee, do you have a question? No, okay.
Can I just ask one more?
Sure, go ahead, Mike.
All right, thank you. I know the state has all the rules and everything on the PFAS. Where do we stand in that? Are we trying to eliminate that? Is there any hope for any of that stuff?
We do eliminate through our treatment process at the treatment plant out of Middleton Pond Reservoir. It's completely eliminated, it's non-detect.
Okay.
Is where we see, what we'll get into a little bit later on, we'll get into where we're finding it in the groundwater sources.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Donna, did you have any more?
No, I don't.
Okay, but Bill, go ahead, hon.
Why won't he sit over there? I'm gonna put his name on that chair.
Again, Bill Bradstreet, my memory's not the greatest, but didn't we receive a letter about the drinking water quality and the chemicals that we purchased from some entity? My question is, do we have a better system in place for checking the supplier for whether he's sending us proper, whatever it is that's used, as opposed to whatever he can find? I mean, if what he wants to palm off on us, so to speak, Is it going to work, or is it not going to work? And do we have a guarantee? Should we be going to a different seller of what we need for? I don't think anybody wants to drink water that they shouldn't be drinking because there's something in it or something should be removed. That letter I got it didn't kill me, but it was just a little disquieting to know that we were using something that wasn't up to grade because of the person we purchased it from. Has a system been put in place to make that better for us, harder for them?
Yes, so there is, obviously, we have obviously enhanced our training operating procedures for taking in materials that are used for drinking water. And we've also switched suppliers to a product that we have great consistency with moving forward. So, you know, we do have to go through consortiums and public bidding procurement laws. We do have to go through another fact check to make sure that the quality that they're giving us is the same as what we need, because we run under such tight parameters for our corrosion control, which is what you're discussing as the letter you saw.
So we have our own standards. We have to make sure that they meet our standards if we have to meet other entities.
Correct, yep.
Thank you.
Terrific. Anybody else? Do I have a motion?
I move we forward this favorably.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Article 27, water booster station improvements, request for $150,000. This is similar to the pump station request, but more related to the water side. So we have 5 booster stations. You might remember we've just replaced the Lakeview booster station, so that's a brand new one. We installed a new booster station at Green Street back in 2019-2020, so the two new ones out of the 5. We did some improvement works at Putnam Street booster station with an article a couple years ago as well, so we've made updates to that one. So we have basically the booster station at Delaware and Summer Street, and then also up at Folly Hill, Fourfoot Drive. So those are 2 stations that have been in service for over 20 years. Some of the parts and components related to those booster stations that are there to maintain fire flow and pressure are required. We're required to make improvements to those based on the pump operations and replacing those motors that run the pumps. So this is requested, that money is requested to do those repair replacements.
Okay. Dan?
All set.
Okay.
No questions.
Mike?
No questions.
Gardner?
I'm all set.
Do I have a motion?
Move we accept, forward this with a favorable recommendation.
Second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Article 28, dust treatment. Just to give you a little bit of background on this, a few years ago, the town entered into a class action lawsuit against 3M and DuPont companies for detecting PFAS chemicals within our groundwater sources. They were directly, the chemicals are directly related back to the DuPont and 3M chemical companies, based on what we found, based on our testing. We received 3 award payments, totaling in a sum of $621,503. And we intend to use those funds to continue our efforts at well 2 to be able to treat PFAS that we found in that groundwater source near the Ipswich River Basin.
Questions, Dave? No. Dan?
Thank you. So the 621 is the total amount that we received in those funds.
Correct.
How far will that go to correct the problem?
So we are right now, we finished about a 30% design with a previous PFAS grant that we were awarded 2 years ago. This would bring us to 60%, and then we also just requested another grant or earmark from Senator Marquis' office to make up the difference to bring us to 100% design complete.
So we're looking for funds for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
but this will still get us moving forward in the right direction in order to do the design.
All right, great, thank you.
If I may, Madam Chair, I just want to point out the incredible work by this team searching for other revenues and other funds. He's referring to congressionally directed spending through Markey's office. And then again, you'll see it says other revenues, but this is, we want to make sure that the board and the public understands that this is that work where if the money comes in, we make sure it's going out to be used for something related to it. So I just want to point that out. Thank you.
Job, yeah. Mike?
Steve, can you tell me more detail about how it was those companies' fault? What did they do?
So they're the manufacturers of the chemicals found in a lot of the materials they make, which are also supplied to other manufacturers within the United States. So there are essentially manufacturers upstream of our sources that either through, firefighter foam or chemicals within a process along upstream, that somehow has found its way and sourced into the Ipswich River basin. That we have now picked up and tested that those chemicals that make up the compounds for the PFAS and PFOA are obviously hazardous to your health. So now that we have regulations that were enacted by Mass DEP for the certain concentration that's allowed in the drinking water, we have to make sure we maintain our treatment characteristics to be able to meet those standards when before they didn't have.
Okay, thank you.
Gardner?
No questions, thank you.
Nova, sure. Thank you.
Nova San Benito Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. I just was looking through the warrant, and it says something about being able to tie well 1, which has been out of service because of PFAS, to well 2 so that those can be treated together. Is this also helping towards that?
Correct, yes.
Okay, great, thanks.
Excellent. Go ahead, Bill.
In Bill Bradstreet, memory, which isn't the greatest, but PFAS are forever chemicals.
Correct.
Okay, has our people in Washington, have they ever given a time element where all of these are going to be not a problem for us? I know forever is never forever. Sometimes it's forever, and sometimes it's only forever for a shorter period of time. Do we have any idea from our leaders when forever is going to be shorter than forever?
They are.
I was like, I don't know. You might have even stumped Steve on this one, Bill.
Obviously the legislators and the EPA are working towards, they know these chemicals don't disintegrate, they don't break apart. So at this point, it's basically how are we going to capture them and remove them from our drinking water versus them actually getting removed from everyday use. So that's kind of what we're up against. So EPA is basically going to create a standard that all water suppliers are going to have to meet prior to a point of non-detect at all, which then leads into another issue further down the line as far as removal and where that's going to go once you clean out those beds. But for now, we're going to have to follow the Mass DEP drinking water standards of what they're allowed within the drinking water.
Or our bodies are going to have to get used to forever?
I don't think we need to get used to it.
Thank you.
Good job, Steve.
Anybody else? All right, do I have a motion? Do
Moving forward this with a favorable recommendation.
I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
All right, back to me. And I just have to comment on how much I enjoy the questioning, the line of questioning sometimes through this process. We are on Article number 29, Emergency Management. And Deputy Schaffner's here to answer questions as well. But this is an initiative that myself, Chief Barry, and Deputy Chief Schaffner have brought up when I came on board. We need a refresh of our emergency management plans, and it includes some next steps. It helps us be more eligible for grant funding, and B, has us prepared for emergencies. So this is a priority for me. I hope that you'll support it. You'll see it's not very specific yet, and that's because we're in the refresh of the plan, and then we'll bring in other departments to what I think they call the annexes of the plan for each kind of scenario, and we'll run through some of those scenarios. My understanding is Danvers had an interesting experience pre-COVID where they did one of these table topics exercises that was related to a public health disease similar to COVID, and few weeks later, they needed to use it. So I just want to make sure that we stay on top of that for the safety of the community. And the request is for $50,000 from free cash.
Excellent. Dan, do you have any questions?
I support this. Well-planned is half done, so continue the good work.
Thank you.
Dee?
Is the emergency management director the police, the fire chief?
The fire chief.
Fire chief, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mike?
No, I support it.
Yep. Donna?
No, I'm all set with this, thank you.
I think it's great. I love that word. Grant funding, too. Excellent. Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move we accept this with a favorable recommendation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Chief.
We got it. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Chief Lovell, because this is Article 32, prohibiting virtual currency kiosk. This is something that the chief brought to you in one of his quarterly presentations. So I'm going to hand it over.
Welcome, Chief.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Good, thank you.
So again, this was the cryptocurrency prohibition for virtual currency kiosks in the community. Right now, we currently still have 2 kiosks in town. One's at 431 Newbury Street, which is a mobile gas station, and one at 79 Maple Street, which is the Country Farms. So we do have 2 remaining left. The third one we had was the tobacco store on 114. When they moved downtown, they decided not to bring that machine with them, and that's no longer an issue there. Again, since 2022, we've had numerous people fall victim to these crypto kiosk scams, a total of $249,000 over since 2022. We recovered about 29% of that money, which is about $72,000. And since we had that kind of big win about a year ago, that's kind of fallen off. We're not getting those same returns anymore, those same recoveries anymore. So implementing this bylaw will help protect vulnerable population in the town.
I think it's great. Okay. Dan, question?
Thank you for doing
Like
this,
that?
Chief.
Yeah.
All set.
All right. Dee?
Just a quick question about the effective date.
Yes.
It says 30 days after, where it says, like for the 2 remaining
Yes.
ones, they have 30 days from the effective date to remove the kiosk.
Correct.
Is that from May 18? Or do we determine the effective date after?
Does this have to go to the Attorney General's office for approval? Or is this typically it has to go to the Attorney General's office for approval? Once it's approved by the Attorney General's office, once it's approved, it'll be 30 days after that. So we would make the notification to them, advising them of the town bylaw, provide them a copy, and say you have 30 days to remove those machines.
Madam Chairman, can I offer some
Sure.
clarity?
Go ahead, Dan.
Attorney General has 90 days to approve any of these bylaws that we pass, up to 90 days. So the 30 days would be after that.
Okay. And would the 30 days enough? Because I know there's certain times. Is that something we can decide, or there's a statute that says how long we have to give?
This was based on recommendation from legal counsel. Legal counsel worked on this with me and town manager, and that's our recommendation was 30 days. And I think that's adequate. They're a plug-and-play machine. They can pull them out. It shouldn't be that big of an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Donna, questions?
No, I see Haverhill has done this, other communities have done this. The AARP is recommending the mass legislate just across the state, so I'm supportive of this.
Excellent. Mike?
Yeah, I don't know anything about these, Chief. So is the machines are just, you're going to get ripped off, or is there actually some good intent with these things initially?
Sure. I'd say there may be good intention at the beginning. Unfortunately, what has happened is a lot of people using this to scam usually elderly or vulnerable population, saying, hey, you have a parking ticket, or there's a warrant for your arrest. You need to go to the crypto machine and give us $500, $5,000. And once it goes into the crypto machine, it goes through these blockchains, and they're very hard to find. They go to offshore accounts, they go internationally. So it's very difficult to do it. If you want to invest in crypto, there are many banks. There's Putnam Investments, Fidelity, Schwab, reputable organizations you can go through to purchase cryptocurrency. We're finding that more and more these are being used for scams. They're being used to, elicit money from people under false pretense.
And the machines that are still left in town, you said there's 2?
Correct.
The businesses that have them, they understand that they're,
So
No
we have
good.
signs up on the machine saying like caution, you
Yeah.
know, if, you know, don't, make sure you're using this for personal investment. This shouldn't be used for certain things. So we have signs up there. We've actually covered the machines for evidence to get search warrants to recover cash. And people have removed the plastic off the machines and the crime tape to use the machines and become victimized. So it's a problem.
okay. But the businesses are okay with having these machines?
Yeah.
They make money.
They make money off, they make money
Yeah.
for having them there. I had heard up to $500-600 they have a month to have the machine in the business.
It's like the private ATMs. The ATMs and you see in the convenience store. It's not a bank ATM, it's a privately owned ATM.
Yep.
That charges a fee for using their ATM.
Right.
The cryptocurrency is similar. You buy cryptocurrency through them, and if it's legitimate, you have electronic currency, basically.
Right.
But in this case, they're using it to get that money. It's like formerly they would tell you to go to Target and get a gift card and scratch it off and tell us the numbers.
Right.
This is just another method of scamming.
And some of the places have done a good job of trying to warn people, but some people just adamant, they're like, nope, my grandson's in trouble, I need to send bail money, and they'll feed $100 bills into that machine, even though they're warned not to. You know, sometimes they do call us if the store sees someone doing this, we'll respond and try to stop it. We've had people argue, go, nope, I need to do this, I need to, you know, there's gonna be a warrant for my arrest if I don't put this money to this account by the end of the day. So eliminating them makes it a lot easier. Again, right now, I believe Westford, Waltham, Gloucester, Peabody have enacted bylaws or town ordinances. Salem, Beverly, and Marblehead are also looking right now. So again, I don't think we want to be the community that doesn't have one, so then all of a sudden everything gets pushed to our community.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great. Do I have a motion?
And moving forward, this is a very favorable recommendation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. And the chief's going to hang out in case there's any next questions. Article number 33, sale of junk and secondhand articles. As we started this discussion on Tuesday, thank you, Member Bennett. He brought this to our attention recently when we licensed another sale of secondhand junk, secondhand articles and junk license to a vendor in the mall. What this does, we did 2 things with this. Member Bennett's request was to address the sale by people between the ages of 18 and 21. We worked with council on this. Obviously, 18, you are an adult, so this bylaw updates it. So if you're 18 or younger, you have to have a parent or legal guardian with you. Their ID will go along with the sale. If you are between 18 and 21, you have to have an adult above the age of 21 with you, and their ID and your ID will both go along with the sale. And the second thing we did was update, and thank you to the chief for bringing this to our attention. They used to use a record book. Now the majority of them use this New England State Police Information Network. So we updated to include that or any other electronic record that is either required by the Danvers Police or the Commonwealth.
Excellent. Got any questions?
No questions.
Dee?
Yes, Chief, so if someone is between 18 and 21, they're an adult, but they need another adult that's 21 or over.
Correct.
So if someone just asks me, hey, can I use your ID to do this at Target, and then I do that, and then it happens that the item was stolen, what happens to me?
We'll probably question you about your connection with that party and determine whether or not you knew that person or whether it was stolen property or not. Again, the person who is also like kind of co-signing this almost, they're taking responsibility, kind of saying like, yes, I'm vouching for this person who's under 21, saying that this is a legitimate sale. And again, you know, most of these sales are legitimate, but time to time there is stolen property that is sold or pawned to these places. So again, this is an added layer of accountability.
Okay, thank you.
Dan?
Thank you for doing the work on this. I did want it a little stricter, but it can happen that somebody will say, hey, I need you to vouch for me. Can happen, but at least there's some guidelines, and that person over 21 will be held accountable. So this is a good move in the right direction.
Definitely.
And right now, there's only 3 locations in the community that have these services. That would be Best Buy, JD Jewelers downtown, and then with there's Eco ATMs at Walmart that have this technology as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mike?
No, no questions.
All right, do I have a motion?
I move we forward this with a favorable recommendation.
Oh, hold on. Bill, go ahead. Sorry, Bill, I didn't see that hand.
I know I'm a pest. As far as this, it says there was a book kept for receipts. Now they've gone to electronics. We all read in the paper how wonderful electronics are for breaking down or what have you. Are they required to hold or have a backup system in case their main system malfunctions and the police are looking for information? They have the backup, at least the backup to look at? Hopefully that's not been compromised. Sorry.
So back in the day when I was in detectives, we had books. So when we went to a pawn shop in Everett, Revere, Chelsea, we would flip page by page through a book trying to find either a Danvers resident or property that we're looking for. Since then, it's much better now with the RISNet. It's a free service. If a company wants to start selling secondhand items, our detectives will go out, help them set up the software. If it goes down, it's down for an hour or two, and they can still input and upload the data later on, so it's not lost. Nice thing about electronic data, too, is that it's searchable by serial number, make, model, names, and it's also accessed by detectives all over New England. So, like, I don't need to drive to Chelsea anymore. I don't need to drive to Fall River. I can go online. I can start searching for serial numbers for a PlayStation. I can start looking, saying, hey, where did Jamie Lovell sell stuff in the past 3 weeks? So the electronic version is just, it's much more user-friendly for us. And again, it's free. We help install it. We help work with the vendors. We'll come out and troubleshoot if we need to. So we've had no issues in the past, probably 5 to 7 years using this software.
Thank you.
Excellent. Do I have a motion?
I move we forward this with a favorable recommendation.
Do I have a All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And I think that is all. That is all. Thank you so much, board members. This was, as I said, my first official annual town meeting warrant review. I think it went great. And again, I want to thank the public, the staff, and all of you who put the time in. And on to Finance Committee.
Yes, so just so everybody knows that the next Select Board meeting will be Tuesday, April 21st, 6:30. And then naturally, May 7th at 6:30, and then the Finance Committee Budget Warrant Review, April 13th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 28th, and 29th.
27.
I'm sorry, 20, did I say 27? Yeah. 13, 15, 16, 27, 28, and 29 if needed.
So just to clarify, the 13, 15, 16 are budget.
Yep.
27, 28, and 29 are warrant.
Right, that's right. Yep, so, and there'll be representatives at those meetings from us.
Right.
I just want to, I kind of forget, I think Mike's the 13th, Dee's the 15th, I'm the 16th, Dan's the 27th, Gardner's the 28th, right?
Yep.
And then I'm the 29th if needed. Okay? But I just want to thank everybody. It's been a good couple of nights, and Dan, you're going to say your closing comment?
I'm fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. All right, well, thank you, Town Manager Rodney, Steve, Angelica, and everybody else. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.